like to call to order the Parks Board meeting for Monday, October 22nd. Do we have any citizens' comments? Nobody knows?
No, sir.
That works good. All right, let's have the Pledge of Allegiance here. Mr. Pike, will you do that for me?
I sure do.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Who's going to say play ball, I guess? Approval of the minutes for September 24th. Mr. Fike first, Mr. White second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. And then good enough. Old business, Arrowhead Park, did I say that? Volunteer Park Phase 2 concession building update, Mr. Gilly.
Thank
I didn't say that, did I?
I didn't turn my button.
The concession stand building, Volunteer Park at Arrowhead, Phase 2, is running on schedule that we have the schedule now. Looks like hopefully, as of last report, it might be finished around Thanksgiving. I say probably be closer to the first of the year, but either way, we're getting really close. Mr. Lamar and I went out there today. Everything's moving along. The bridges across to the next piece of property is under construction. We did go ahead and we were able, it was a good suggestion by Mr. Russell, to run the water line for irrigation on across the bridge during this process of the construction. That'll help us as we start to develop the rest of the park. There will be obviously some housekeeping and punch list items as we go along to get it exactly how we want it, but everything appears to be on schedule for that. If you get a chance to go by and look at it, it's coming up out of the ground nicely.
Very nice. Questions? Thank you, Mr. Gilly. Mary's Magical Playground. Say that for me 5 times quick, really?
No, I can't do it.
I thank you. Mr. Lamar?
Well, we opened about a month ago, be 4 weeks tomorrow night, and it has been a huge hit. As most of you can tell that go by there, any time of the day you've been by, 10 o'clock in the morning, there's 40, 50 cars out there. It is a huge success, a huge hit. There's some little things that go along with that many people going that quick. We'll have to probably put some additional signs up for pets and dogs that are not service dogs. That seems to have been a little bit of a problem in the last couple of weeks. Putting a light on the flagpole. The handicap signs went in. The guys painted, Steve, I appreciate that, painted the parking lot this morning with all the lines so people could park straight, and they were all over the place. But we've had a lot of emails and Facebook posts and things like that. One lady in particular has driven down 3 times a week from Clarksville with her 2 kids that are special needs because of the design of the playground and things like that. And so the playground has been a huge success, and it has kind of put us a notch above everybody else. And most of the cities around us are already talking now about doing it. So I want to thank those ladies, and I'm sure that we'll do something in the near future for the ladies that started this thing 3 years ago. So, but it's been a great project to work with.
Very nice. Questions?
If I could, one thing to add to that, just a few minutes ago in the Finance Committee meeting, we were able to get approved a line item in the budget going forward for maintenance, just specifically at Mary's Magical Place. The Rotary Club gave us part of the funds that they had collected, $10,000. Also came that really came from the county commission through tobacco grant money. But that'll be our starting point for that. That will allow people going forward that come in and want to donate to the city, to Mary's Magical Place, probably to feel a little more comfortable about what their money is going towards instead of in the general fund. So I think that was an important step. We'll hopefully get that approved at the Bowman meeting this week also.
Good. I'm an old guy, and when I retired, my wife would not let me stay at home. So I drive a courtesy van for a dealership in Madison, and people go by there that have just come in to the city, and they are just amazed at that and said, what is that? And you know, for them to do that much more than what they were going to do is just amazing. So that's great. Raise the Praise Music Festival, Miss Wise.
Since I believe last month's meeting when we approved their event to move to Sanders Ferry, since then we have received the application for the TJ Martell Fishing Tournament, which happens to be the same day, same location. So it's kind of been a conflict at this time. I'm working with both parties to see if we can get this resolved, and one of the solutions is to move Raise the Praise to Memorial Park that same day, or the weekend after, the June 8th, I believe it is. But I think they are planning on coming sometime this week to check out Memorial Park and see if it's where they want to do this. So that's where things stand right now with Raise the Praise.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Question? Quiet bunch. Quiet bunch. Beatty Farm property update, Mr. Gilly.
Thank you. We just want to remind everybody, basically for TV purposes, I guess, and for the board's purposes, of the preview day at the property on November 17th. That's a Saturday afternoon, I believe, at 1 o'clock. And then the more important part is the community meetings that we will have leading up to helping us make the master plan for the property. November 28th here at City Hall at 6 o'clock, and December 13th. 2 chances for anybody in the whole community to come weigh in on that park, and as we go through the master planning process for that whole piece of property. The fire department moved their admin offices in last week. If you get a chance, go by there. It's in the Public Works and IT department did a great job with that. And yesterday I met a group out there to take pictures for an upcoming performance of The Wizard of Oz. We're going to get all kinds of requests, I think, to put the barn to use, and they wanted the barn in the background. So I thought that was a pretty unique thing we were able to do for them. But that was it. I really wanted to just make you aware of those 2 dates for the community meetings, 28th of November and December 13th, both here at City Hall.
Very nice. Question? Thank you, Mr. Gilly. Under new business, Vol State National Showcase, USSSA Select, Mr. McCluskey.
I can, if you don't, Mr. Chairman, I want to talk about that a little bit before he,
Okay.
You can go ahead and stand up there. Mr. McCluskey's from Alabama, so he's made a long drive. That's kind of why it's important.
No, wait a minute. This ain't
Well,
gonna work.
he's probably not an Alabama fan. We won't hold that against him. He can be Roll Tide or orange and blue, whatever he needs.
You'll have to wear this hat when you talk, man.
Their application is got sent in the regular mail, which means it could be anywhere in the building here at City Hall. But we have discussed the dates as a staff that they're wanting to use, and the dates that he's going to talk about are in the second week of July. This year we had a Game 7 World Series that week of July, baseball, and they are actually going to move to the last week of June, which you'll get an update about that with their World Series. We're hoping that will allow them to have even more teams, especially in the younger divisions, because the kids are they're stopping their seasons earlier. So we're hoping that this large softball tournament will kind of fill the gap there in July by moving the Game 7 World Series. Now, sorry, go ahead.
Push your button there if you don't mind, the red button. State your
I got
name
you.
if you don't mind, sir.
My name's Tom McCluskey. I'm from Florence, Alabama. I'm the owner of AK Sports. We do want to host a tournament here the second week in July. We think, for the community, the economic impact will be tremendous. Obviously, it is a business venture for us. At the same time, I've done 12 of these, and by the way, this is Miss Tanya Martin. She's also helping with this event. I've been doing this for 12 years, hosting tournaments, mainly in Alabama, but we've played here so many times over the last 15 years or so that it's kind of like a second home. It's 2 hours from us. But we're expecting to host about 85 teams over a 3-day. We'll play for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But Thursday, we're also going to try to see if it's available to use for a camp with college coaches, because this is for older girls seeking college scholarships. So it's a showcase event. Like I said, you're looking at 85 teams, the average of 11 kids per team. You're over 900 families coming in here for a 3 or 4 day event. we're going to use a hotel group that makes sure that people stay in Hendersonville. That's what we're going to do, is make them, to accept this invitation to play, you've got to stay in one of our hotels, which that's good for y'all. But we've known the park for years. It's the community, the things that you can do after the tournament when the kids aren't playing. And the way this is structured, it's a 5-game guarantee, so you play them 2 Friday, 2 Saturday, and then they eliminations all on Sunday. So everybody, the full group of teams, will be here for the full 3 to 4 days. So basically, that's pretty much, the basis of how it's going to work. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
And you've set aside the room for them, is that correct? Has the staff done that?
Set aside the room.
The space at the park?
At the field space,
Yeah.
what they're wanting to do, even with the camp, the extra day fits into what's available based on the other event moving to a different week
Gotcha.
before. And they're aware of our tournament fee structure and the field rental, and also giving back to civic groups, working with folks, so that
Absolutely.
I believe they're on board with everything that all the other groups have agreed to in the past.
Yeah, we're looking for a long-term, hopefully, arrangement that we can stay here for years and years, because once you build these events and people know about them, if you do it the right way, they want to come back. I host one every year, 3rd week of June in Alabama, and we just opened entries for it, I don't know, about 3 weeks ago, and we're already full with a waiting list, and it's been really good. So that's what we hope to do here as well.
Okay.
And with all the entertainment things around this area, it really is a good draw. So I think it could be a really good event.
Question?
So without we're good to go, we vote on this tonight, everything as far as the paperwork, y'all can handle. We don't
If
have
for
to
some
have that
reason we
here.
never ever get that, then we'll come back here and tell you that they're not going to have their event.
Okay,
But I feel like that we will have it in our hands.
good deal.
I'll make
I'm
sure.
excited about it. I think it'll be a great event
Yeah.
for here.
Excited?
Yeah, excited.
Excited.
Yeah, softball.
I'm a little excited, I guess. Any other question? I'll entertain a motion to approve. Mr. Pike, Mr. Head, second. Any more discussion? Before we vote, this is going to be hard right here. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate it
you
very
coming
much.
by, sir.
Yes, sir.
Volunteer Park and Dirks Creek Light Project, that would be Arrowhead, yeah. Mr. Gilly?
Yes, sir. Just wanted to let you all know that we have signed purchase agreements and contracts with Musco and Reynolds Electric for the LED lighting project that was put in the budget this past year by the mayor and alderman. We're going to be getting approximately $430,000 worth of LED lights at Volunteer Park at Arrowhead, and the football field at Drakes Creek, and softball field 1 at Drakes Creek. Those are 3 places that will be lit up. We hope, as of right now, it looks like materials will be in early December, and in plenty of time for them to have those ready for the start of spring practice. So just, there's kind of a housekeeping issue on the agenda at the BOMA meeting tomorrow night, where we just have to kind of transfer funds from one project to the other, but Tennessee United's already delivered their $20,000 donation to the project, and all the bids came in a little bit under what we had budgeted for, so we're in good shape, and that looks like it's going to be a good thing. I will say we've got to continue this going forward to replace all our lights with LEDs. It might be something we have to end up advocating for going forward with the alderman and the mayor to get it in there and get it done as quickly as possible, because I'm afraid if we wait 10 years, then we won't even be able to buy bulbs probably for what we have up. It's going to have to be something that we continue to keep in the budget, hopefully.
Very nice.
That's all.
Question? Thank you, Mr. Gilly. Signage to recognize sponsors during park city-wide events, Mr. Gilly.
Thank you. What we have here is not something where we're going to start selling sponsorship for the parks. This is a case where we have a couple of community groups who are donating a few $1,000s worth of materials to our citywide Christmas tree display that I've come to find out some people didn't even know we had. So we're going to try to upgrade that. Hopefully Stephen won't be embarrassed of it anymore once we get this done. But we've had a couple of companies donate ornaments and close to 9,000 new lights. And we've also had a local person who does decorating for a living that's going to help our maintenance staff decorate.
Please.
But I feel like we need to be able to recognize these companies, and it brings up a greater point that when we do have a park-sponsored events and sometimes citywide events, what I didn't want is a sign on Gallatin Road where people are stopped at that traffic light, and then somebody call and ask, why are we letting people advertise their business? Just want to do it for the length of in this case, while the lights are up for the holiday season. And in other cases, it might be for the citywide trick-or-treat event for one night, whatever. I would like to be able for us to have that flexibility to recognize those that give money. So that would be my request, if y'all would approve that.
Questions? I personally don't see anything wrong with it at all. I mean, I don't know whether there should be I don't want to go down and, donate $5 and get my name up, but, I don't know whether there's any of that, but I don't see a problem with it at all.
We need a motion.
Mhm.
Yeah. Entertain a motion to okay this? All right.
Go ahead, Bob.
Mr. Richards, okay that? Okay, Mr. Richards made some motion. Mr. Pike, second. Now then, questions?
Do we need to word the motion in a way that it's telling people in the motion why we're doing this and what we're doing, or are we good with just a straight motion?
I think with what you got, with what's on the agenda, it pretty much states what we're doing. I think.
Yeah.
I think we're okay.
I don't see a problem with it at all, to be honest with you, as
So,
much as.
question.
Yes, sir, Mr.
In back in kind of what you said, $5. So are we going to require a minimum amount to get a sign or your name on this sign? I mean, if I donate $100, you're going to put my name on there, and a company donates $10,000?
No, I think you're going to probably have to go on a case-by-case basis, depending on what the event is, and let us as a staff kind of work through that.
And that's actually the reason I brought that up, because I think it would be wiser to do it that way and the staff actually figure out which one's worthy and not. I mean, we don't want to discourage anybody from donating or doing things like that. So I think it's very good. I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? No. Thank you, Mr. Gilly.
Thank you.
Ms. Wise, thank you for the special event little thing we got back there. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Wow, who said that? Oh, it was her. Okay, good. Okay. Recreation staff reports. Ms. Hamlin, Recreation Coordinator. That's who you are.
Sometimes.
No, always.
I had my preschool track meet yesterday at the park. On the football field, I had 122 that were registered, and all but 4 showed up. We had great weather. The children and the parents seemed to really enjoy it, and we had some good comments throughout the time. I want to say thanks to all the Parks Department staff members for helping out. I was running low on volunteers, so I was making phone calls to some of them to come over and help me, and they stepped up and did a good job. We did have some surveys turned in, and some of the comments on the survey was that it was awesome, the experience was perfect, it was well laid out and run smoothly. One lady stated that they loved seeing their 2 girls have confidence and pride in themselves. And then some suggestions were to include smaller shirts and put the first place winners in a final heat. Most stated that they would return and they would pass this information along to others as well for next year. Trick or Treat at Drakes Creek is October 30th, 6 to 8 p.m. at Drakes Creek Park Soccer Area. Come enjoy the fun. Raptor Special Needs Basketball will be having sign-ups in December, with the season running in January and February. We play on Friday evenings and Saturday mornings, usually at Station Camp Elementary. And then Lunch with Santa, it will be December 1st. Civitan is going to co-sponsor this event with me, and this year there is not going to be a charge to attend. It will be at Winton Elementary. They will get to visit with Santa and have pizza and a drink. However, we are still going to require sign-ups. They're still going to have to be pre-registered and sign up so we can limit how many people are in the room at one time. So what we're looking at possibly doing is having 2 different sessions and limiting the number of people that are in there. But once again, they will have to be pre-registered. We will not take any walk-ups that day, and registration will open on November 1st, and we'll have more information on the website in a few days.
What do you want to do then? I'll do it.
Any questions?
Any questions? Although I've never said this, but I really don't think we give you the credit for what you do. I don't know that I've ever seen a more dedicated person on our staff.
you.
And I, for one, certainly appreciate what you do. So,
Thank you.
yes, ma'am, no problem. Special Events Program Supervisor, Ms. Wise.
This month, we had the Hendersonville High School Fishing Challenge, and we also had the Fatima Rosary Rally on the 13th of October.
Yes, sir.
Coming up, we have BW3 is having their kickball tournament on Wednesday. They have about 24 teams. Let's see what else. Football for the Cure is coming up on October 28th, which is Sunday. As Cindy mentioned, Trick or Treat at Drakes Creek is next Tuesday. We have about 30 businesses registered. We are also having our City Hall first annual pumpkin carving contest next Tuesday. So it'll be interesting to see who wins, what department wins that challenge. Basketball season has started. It's keeping us busy in the office. I've got a lot of new scorekeepers this year. I've got some new gym supervisors this year, so I'm hoping for a great year. Veterans Day Parade is coming up November 4th, and as Director Gilly stated, the Beatty Farm preview is November 17th.
Question? I'd like to formally withdraw our challenge to the staff for the kickball game because we've lost Mr. Campbell and Mr. Head down there will be about all we got. So until we name somebody else, we're going to put that on the. No, thank you. Thank you, Ms. White. Maintenance Supervisor, Mr. Russell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have put down all of our ryegrass on all of our sports fields. In doing that, it takes about 11,000 pounds of ryegrass to do, so a lot of seed. On Monday, October the 15th, we had a lightning strike, and Andy, this may be on your report if you want to talk about
No,
this.
you go ahead, and that's fine.
We had a lightning strike at Drakes Creek Park that did quite a bit of damage to some lighting. It got some soccer lights, blew out a breaker panel. It blew up 2 irrigation control panels, and it actually blew some irrigation water lines out of the ground. It was a good one. So, but the staff and Andy are working with our insurance company through the city. It will be an insurance policy, so hopefully here in the next couple of weeks we'll have this fixed and going. Here in the last couple of weeks, we had a local Boy Scout contacted us about wanting to do an Eagle Scout project. And we talked and come to agreement that what he ended up fixing was some stone pavers as you walk into Kids Kingdom Playground. They had settled, and the tree roots had kind of pushed them up and got it uneven. It was kind of becoming a safety issue, so it worked out both. He got his award, and we got something fixed, and he did a really good job. Looks really good. We've hired a company to do some repairs and upgrades to the lake fountain, the one that's in the water at Memorial Park. And the repair is to the wires that go to the lights that were eaten up by the turtles. So
You can't make this up. You really can't make this up, no.
So the upgrades we're doing is, of course, we're going to anti-turtle wire, which we hope works out. And we're also going to upgrade to LED lights while we're doing it. So I think that's going to be a huge upgrade when people drive by and see those different lights. They started last week, the company. They run into a little bit of an issue with some brackets on the lighting, and they told us they would have it done this week. So hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have that back going.
Is that it?
Yep.
Question? Thank you, sir. Parks Manager, Mr. Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Fall baseball is still underway. Tonight is the last night of makeup games, so as long as we don't get rained out here in the next 30 minutes, we should be done with that. And then we can move on to basketball. Full Count Baseball League, they just started up last week. They got a couple of rainouts, but other than that, everything's going well with them, and they have some makeup scheduled tomorrow night. Civitan football, they had their last games of the season this past Saturday. I think they've had one team make the playoffs, so they'll still be practicing out there at the fields. Soccer's still ongoing. Rec should finish up by the end of the month, and then Tennessee United will finish up at some point in the middle of November. Basketball's now officially underway. We have 139 teams this year. 23 of those are high school, which is up from last year, and we have 4 adult, and the rest are youth. So we've our league's really grown the past couple of years. Our rating sessions was last Monday and Tuesday night. We had about 425 new players attend that. So it was a good turnout. We got coaches meeting this coming Wednesday here in this room, October 24th at 6 o'clock, and then our high school league will have their meeting after that at 7:30. Practices will begin this Saturday, October 27th. Then the youth leagues will begin games on Saturday, December 1st, and high school will start up in November on November 12th for games.
Very nice. Questions? Thank you, sir. Mr. Bruce seems to be very thin down there. Does anybody have his report? Or
I do.
Go right ahead, sir.
For Keith, his adult softball season is now completed. Adult spring kickball is also completed. Friday night kicks won the tournament. Senior men's softball, both divisions have tournaments the next 2 weeks. Lacrosse is practicing this fall. Hockey league tournament is this coming weekend. And fast pitch tournament starts tonight. And then his report for basketball is the same as mine.
Thank you, Mr. Bruce /Long. Question? Thank you. Interim Parks Director, Mr. Lamabre.
Alias Short Timer. A couple things, working on some tree issues on our property in 141 Scott Street, and we're about to get that resolved. And then, of course, Mary's Magical Places, just cleaning up some things. The last two things in my 10 years interim, is kind of mentoring and transitioning the new director in, and things are going great. Quick learner, and he's always got a lot of knowledge, so it'll be an easy transition, and I've only got a few hours left, so that'll be great. And I guess I lied to you last month when I said that was my last meeting. This is my last meeting, so I think a couple of us are rolling off at the same time. So, but it's been a fun 8 months, and you guys will move forward in a positive direction. It'll be good. I see good things happening. Thank you.
Question? I don't want to give you the big-headed. It pains my heart to say this. We certainly appreciate what you've done in the interim here, and I've already heard good things about Andy, and I'm pretty sure that you were part of that. So we really can't thank you enough for that day. You got heads swelling there. Parks Director, Mr. Gilly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a few things we hadn't already touched on. Met in the last couple of weeks, I've met with the tennis clubs that use our facility. I've also reached out to the school board, Dr. Phillips, and the county, and we're hoping that we're going to be able to work together on a project to refurbish and hopefully upgrade our tennis building restroom / locker room facility over there. It's something that's long overdue. I know from our end we're going to be able to have some money go towards that. If at all possible, I know Dr. Phillips is going to help out to help the tennis kids, because we now have Hendersonville Beach, Merrill Hyde, and Station Camp using our courts as their home courts along with all our other local league play as well. So we're going to try to really do something hopefully nice there for that, and also working with the USTA on grants to reconstruct some of the courts that are cracking. So just want tennis people to be aware of that. Mr. Russell mentioned the lightning strike. I appreciate our staff, both maintenance and our office staff, because it's been a group effort to kind of collect documents and make sure we take pictures of everything, and our staff in the office putting up with me being gone to the park and meeting with the TML, and then the maintenance guys working together to make sure we find everything. I mean, to be honest, it could be months down the road before we figure out everything that's damaged. Just tonight, we had two fields where the lights didn't come on. So it could be that we start seeing things down the road. But everyone's worked together. Even here with TML, we've had good help from them. But that is something that I have not seen. I've seen lightning strikes, but I hadn't seen one do what this one did. It was a lot of damage. Luckily, no one was injured. It brings up another good point. Over the next few months, where we've looked into something we saw at our conference that we went to was a company in Brentwood that installs lightning detection devices in parks. They install a hub at one place and then horns throughout the different locations that will notify people when lightning is near. It will blow, correct me if I'm wrong, it will blow a horn when you need to get off the field, and it will make an announcement or blow a horn when it's time to return to play too. And it's something that we've talked about. We've had cases where soccer field players come off and baseball and softball stay on the fields, and with that technology out there now, it's incumbent upon us to take advantage of it. Something that I have seen in other parks. Hopefully, with our situation where we don't get apparently the company says you don't have to have cell service to use it, so that's important at our park. We are working towards that as well. That leads into another issue. We have a meeting this coming Thursday regarding the cell tower. They're still going back and forth between our attorneys and cell tower companies about language for contracts. If we could get that put in, we have a piece of property behind the maintenance building. If we could get that put in the park, it would help tremendously with communication, I think, in our park system. Let's see here. We do have, obviously, we have Mr. Campbell has already resigned, and this was to be Ms. Bourget's last board meeting. So Mr. Campbell's is a ward appointment. The alderman there in Ward 5 will pick an appointee to bring to the board, and Ms. Bourget is a mayoral appointment that anybody in the city could be appointed by the mayor. So we'll have, hopefully we'll be up to a full board soon. Mr. Lamar made reference to his last meeting. I doubt that it'll be his last meeting, so I'm going to save the formalities for another time. He's got about 70 hours left. Could not have asked for, how many is it?
66.
Oh, 66. So I guess this one counted as an hour. I could not ask for a better mentor. I could not ask for somebody to help more than he has. We will take a little time more formally to recognize him for his efforts. I mean, we've honored him about 6 times for retirement already. So, but this time was very important. This is kind of like the time when we had to put the park back together from the flood. What he did in the office and with the staff here the last few months is we'll never be able to thank him enough. That being said, I think Alderman Frost is still down there. Is he still down there? Is he hiding? Alderman Frost has been the liaison to the Parks Board for many years and an advocate for the park system even longer than that. And I believe tonight will be officially his last meeting as our Parks Board liaison, since he decided not to run for re-election this time. I want to make sure, I'm going to tell you right now, sitting there as an alderman, I could not have sat by a better person because of the knowledge that I gained just from listening to him speak. He's been a friend to me as in this job, been a friend to me before that, and he's definitely been a friend to our parks system and to our city. We have have, I don't want to embarrass him, but I want to read this little plaque that we have, and I'm going to make him stand up and come get it here in a second. It says, "In grateful recognition of Alderman Hamilton Frost, thank you for your many years of service to the Hendersonville Parks Board, our park system, and the entire city of Hendersonville." So we want to take a minute to recognize you, Alderman Frost, and thank you for everything you've done. I'll come to you. You don't have to get up. You're good.
Thank you, Ham.
I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the past 24 years on the board. I've enjoyed being a part of all the good things we've done in the city to move the city forward. Parks is one of them. I know Andy's going to do a great job, and Dave has done a fantastic job. He's the first park director I knew when I first came on, first elected ranking on the board. He's really brought the park to where it's showcased the entire state and south. So I've enjoyed every one of you, and wish you the very best. Thank you for this.
Ham, you might be going off the board, but I'm still going to call you when I've got questions, because you have added so much to this board in this city. It's you're not going to get any more than that, but you deserve a lot more than that. So thank you very much, sir. Is that it, sir?
Yes, sir.
And a round table. Let's start with Mr. Frost down there, since I never do that. You got anything, Mr. Frost?
No, sir.
What about you, Mr. Head?
No, sir.
Mr. White? Mr. Campbell? Mr. Pike?
I want-
Imagine that. Okay, go ahead.
I just want a second, third, or whatever to Ham. I've known Ham Frost for a long time, even away from the board, but he's a great man and a great person for this board liaison, and we will miss him very much. And I want to also thank, like we thank the hard work that the staff and the maintenance staff, along with Dave and Andy, put in every day. It's a lot of long hours.
Okay, I feel like we all need to join hands and sing Kumbaya now. That's all right.
Play kickball, okay?
I'm
Save
glad
that.
that kickball got mentioned twice tonight. That's a good thing. That's good. And when I found out the other day that professional football players play kickball, I'm slinking back out of my stuff. Nothing else. I need a motion to adjourn. Mr. White, Mr. Pike, second. All in favor say aye. Aye. We're out of here. Thank you for your